one of the powerful warriors in Mahabharata. He also stands against Arjuna several times. You already know that how powerful Arjuna was. Who is he? Why did Krishna curse him? How powerful he is? To know all these, watch the video until the end. There are Sapta Chiranjeevis. They gained their immortality either through blessings or, in one case, through a curse. According to this sacred verse, the immortal beings are Ashwathama, Mahabali, Vyasa, Hanuman, Vibhishana, Kripa, and Parashurama. One more, Maharshi Markandeya, is mentioned as the eighth immortal and has an incredibly long lifespan. These are famous according to Puranas. Among these, some are related to the Ramayana timeline, some are related to the Mahabharata timeline, and some are related to another timeline. But there were also some other Chiranjeevis that were not mentioned in history. One of them is Maharshi Romasa. He has as many hairs on his body. His one hair is equal to one Mahakalpa. That means his age is greater than Kalpas. It's said that when Brahma, the creator, ends his creation, each hair on Romasa's body will fall out. To cause death to him means all the hair on his body needs to fall out. Markandeya also has a lifespan beyond the imagination. He is said to have witnessed many pralayas. And there is also another Chiranjeevi. His name is Kakabushundi. If you want a detailed video on Kakabushundi, comment below Kakabushundi. Ashwathama was the son of Drona and Kripi. He was born in a cave in a forest in present-day Tapkeshwar Mahadev Temple, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Drona performed many years of severe penance to please Bhagwan Shiva to obtain a son who possessed the same valiance as Bhagwan Shiva. Ashwathama was born with a special gem on his forehead, which gave him power over all living beings lower than humans, and shielded him from hunger, thirst, tiredness, aging, sickness, weapons, and divine beings. The gem made him almost invincible. Though an expert in warfare, Drona lived a simple life with little money. Because of this, Ashwathama had a tough childhood, and his family couldn't even afford milk. Drona, wanting to provide a better life for his family, he went to the Panchala kingdom to ask for help from his old friend Drupada, who had promised Drona that when he became king, he would share half of his kingdom with him. But when Drona asked for his help, Drupada refused, saying that a king and a beggar can't be friends. This embarrassed Drona. After this incident, Kripacharya invites Drona to Hastinapura. Thus, Drona becomes the guru of both the Pandavas and the Kauravas. By Drona's teachings, Pandavas and Kauravas became powerful warriors. Along with them, Ashwathama was also trained in the art of warfare. Ashwathama becomes an expert in warfare, learning various secrets and divine weapons. When they grow up, Drona asks his students to give him his guru Dakshina and orders the capture of Drupada. First, the Kauravas go for him and they fail, and the Pandavas go for Drupada, defeat him, and present him before Guru Drona. Dronacharya takes the northern half of Drupada's kingdom and crowns Ashwathama as its king. From childhood, Ashwathama has been close to Duryodhana. It's not because he wanted to be friends with Duryodhana, it is because he hates Arjuna. Because since childhood, Ashwathama did not like Arjuna to be more powerful than him, and his father Drona also gives more preference to Arjuna. When Hastinapura offers Drona the privilege of teaching the Kauravas, both Drona and Ashwathama become loyal to Hastinapura and fight on the side of the Kauravas in the Kurukshetra war. Before we go any further, I have a small request for you all. I've been pouring my heart and soul into creating this content, and I truly hope you're enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying. But you know what? It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and yes, even a bit of money and time to bring these videos to life. So here's where I need your help. Like, comment, share, subscribe, stay updated with all the latest content, and if you're feeling extra generous, you can support the channel through channel membership, super, or even through UPI. Every contribution goes a long way in helping me continue doing what I love. Thank you so much. On the 10th day of the war, after Bhishma falls, Drona becomes the supreme commander of the Kaurava army. He promises Duryodhana that he will capture Yudhishthira from the 11th day to 13th day. Drona continuously attacks Yudhishthira, but he repeatedly fails to do so. After the death of Abhimanyu on the 13th day, Arjuna vows to kill Jayadratha before sunset or burn himself alive. On the 14th day of the war, Drona's responsibility is to protect Jayadratha. Kauravas hide Jayadratha until sunset. After sunset, he comes out to the battlefield. Here, the mastermind, scriptwriter, and everything of all these come to take charge. Do you know who he is before revealing? Pause the video and comment down. The Krishna. The sun had not yet set. It is all a trick of Krishna. Krishna blocked the sun with his Sudarshan chakra. After removing Sudarshan chakra, Arjuna kills Jayadratha. After this incident, Drona decided to end the war. He is going to use Brahmastra on the Pandava army, but Saptarishis appeared and stopped Drona. Saptarishis scolds Drona for using the Brahmastra on common soldiers. Because of that, Drona withdrew from unleashing the Brahmastra. Drona continues the war. Drona kills Virata and Drupada before the day ends. On that day, Drona wreaked havoc in the battleground. Watching this, Pandavas realized at this moment no one in the Pandavas army couldn't stop Guru Drona. But if they do not kill him, Drona will tear the Pandava army apart. Here comes the Krishna strategist of Pandavas, who came up with a clever plan. Following Krishna's advice, Bhima killed an elephant named Aswathama and loudly says that Aswathama is dead. Hearing this, Guru Drona laughs and looks for his son, saying that my son died that too at the hands of Bhima. But when his son is nowhere to be found, he starts to get a little worried. Feeling bad, he turns his chariot towards Dharmaraja and asks Dharmaraja about his son. Dharmaraja loudly says Aswathama Hataha, but quietly he adds Kunjaraha. When Guru Drona hears part of the truth, he gives up fighting and sits in meditation. At this moment, to avenge his father's death, Drustadimna kills Guru Drona. Seeing this, Kauravas loudly said, "This is not fair." Then Krishna asked them, "Don't you remember how you killed Abhimanyu? If killing Abhimanyu is dharma, this is also dharma." Hearing this, Kauravas quieted down. Then Ashwathama comes there. Ashwathama saw his father die. Ashwathama was consumed by rage at his father's death. He unleashed the deadly Narayana Astra. The Narayana Astra blazed across the sky, raining down fiery death upon the soldiers below. With each strike, it conjured forth deadly weapons, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. As it surged toward the Pandavas, Lord Krishna, the master strategist, saw a way to thwart its deadly power. He urged the Pandavas and their allies to cast aside their weapons and kneel in surrender. But Bhima, prideful and defiant, refused to yield. Ignoring Krishna's plea, he stood tall, defiantly challenging Ashwathama. As the Narayana Astra bore down upon Bhima, Krishna and Arjuna raced to his side, beseeching him to relent. But Bhima, stubborn and unyielding, refused to heed their warnings. With no other choice, Krishna and Arjuna took matters into their own hands. They disarmed Bhima and forced him to the ground, just in time to evade the deadly wrath of the Narayana Astra. After the terrible death of Karna, Ashwathama suggests Duryodhana make peace with the Pandavas, keeping in mind the welfare of Hastinapur, but Kripa and Kritavarma didn't accept it. The next day, Shalya was the fourth commander-in-chief of the Kaurava alliance. Shalya fought fiercely and died heroically. After Shalyu's death, everyone flees from the war. After the war, Duryodhana hides inside a river. When the Pandavas came to know that, they went to the river and called Duryodhana to come out, but Duryodhana didn't come out. Bhima insults him with his words. Hearing that, Duryodhana got angry and came out. Bhima and Duryodhana fight fiercely. Later, after Duryodhana is struck down by Bhima and faces death, the last three survivors from the Kaurava side, Ashwathama, Kripa, and Kritvarma, rush to his side. Ashwathama swears to bring Duryodhana revenge. Ashwathama sets out to kill the Pandavas. Just then, Kritavarma says, "It is not easy to kill Pandavas." Ashwathama replied, "That's why I kill Pandavas when sleeping." For that, Kripacharya says, "As a warrior, it is not fair." Then Ashwathama asks them, "Do you see the fight of crows and owls? Crows fight against the owls during the day and win in return. The owls fight against the crows during the night and win. Nature around us teaches us lessons of war." He said that if the strength of the Pandavas is day, I have night. Along with Kripa and Kritavarma, Ashwathama goes to attack the Pandavas' camp at night. After Ashwathama enters the camp, he first kicks and awakens Drishtadyumna, the commander of the Pandava army and the killer of his father. Ashwathama beats up and strangles the half-awake Drishtadyumna as the prince begs to be allowed to die with a sword in his hand, ultimately choking him to death. Ashwathama proceeds to butcher the remaining warriors, including Shikandi, Uttamaujas, Udamanyu, and many other prominent warriors of the Pandava army. Even though many warriors try and fight back, Ashwathama remains unharmed due to his activated abilities as one of the 11 Rudras. Those who try to flee from Ashwathama's wrath are hacked down by Kripa and Kritavarma at the camp's entrances. Ashwathama killed sleeping up Pandavas thinking they were Pandavas. Krishna knew everything beforehand, so he would have taken the Pandavas to another place. After the slaughter, the three warriors go to find Duryodhana and tell him that all the Pandavas are dead. Duryodhana feels satisfied and avenged, as Ashwathama has done what Bhishma, Drona, and Karna could not. With this news, Duryodhana takes his last breath. The next morning, the three remaining members of the Kaurava army perform the cremations of the dead. The Pandavas and Krishna, who were away during the night, now return to their camp. Hearing the news of these events, Yudhishthira faints, and the Pandavas become inconsolable. Bhima angrily rushes to kill Drona's son. They find him at Sage sage Vyasa's ashram near the bank of the Ganges. The now triggered Ashwatthama invokes the Brahmastra against the Pandavas from a tiny blade of grass to fulfill the oath of killing them. Krishna tells Arjuna to fire his own Brahmastra as an anti-weapon against Ashwatthama to defend themselves. Vyasa intervenes and prevents the destructive weapons from clashing against each other. He asks both Arjuna and Ashwatthama to take their weapons back. Arjuna, knowing how to do so, takes it back. Ashwatthama, however, not knowing how, redirects the Brahmastra towards the womb of the pregnant Uttara in an attempt to end the lineage of the Pandavas. Krishna saves Uttara's unborn child from the effects of the Brahmastra. Ashwatthama tried to kill everyone in the Pandava family, including the unborn baby, and this made Lord Krishna very angry. In his anger, Krishna cursed Ashwatthama with a terrible fate. As punishment, Ashwatthama had to give up the gem on his forehead. Krishna's curse meant that Ashwatthama would wander the forests for 3,000 years, with blood and pus coming from his wounds. He would beg for death, but death would never come. Since he had no fear of dying during the war, death would avoid him now. He would have no shelter, no kindness, no contact with people. The wound from the gem's removal would never heal, and his body would be covered with painful sores and ulcers. For 3,000 years, he would suffer alone, bearing the pain of his cursed life. There's a story circulating on the internet about an Ayurveda doctor in Madhya Pradesh who tried everything to heal a septic wound on a patient's head, but the bleeding never stopped. This patient was tall, dark, handsome, and massive. Another story tells of villagers near the old fort in Asargarh, Madhya Pradesh, who believe that a man comes every morning to pray to a Shiv Linga in the old fort and offer flowers. In yet another tale, yogis like Pilot Baba claim to have met Ashwatthama in the Himalayas, living peacefully with a tribe. It is believed that he still roams around the Narmada River in India. However, there's an incident in the Mahabharata that challenges this idea. According to the Kannada version of the Mahabharata, Ashwatthama contacted Parshurama and asked him to save him from Lord Krishna's curse. Since Ashwatthama was following Lord Shiva's orders to eliminate evil from the world, Parshurama accepted him. It is believed that Lord Shiva purposely incarnated Ashwatthama to destroy all evil. The Mahabharata mentions that 36 years after the war, the Pandavas saw him with Lord Parshurama and sage Durvasa at an ashram on the banks of the Ganga River. It is said that Parshurama and sage Durvasa initiated Ashwatthama into Shakti worship, which is considered the highest form of worship. Through this, Ashwatthama bypassed Lord Krishna's curse.